AJ Brown woke up and was like, look, I got time today.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today we're going to talk about AJ Brown, man. AJ Brown on Twitter this morning, about an hour ago, was basically refuting the reports that my guy Derek Gunn and Jacob Media put out, saying that Jalen Hurts had a terrible 10-play series. Who knows if it's true or not? I mean, it really isn't that big of a deal. I think that as far as the quote, I think it was taken out a little bit. It was blown up a little bit. You know, I think Eagles fans heard Jalen Hurts had a bad series and they think that it means something. I don't think any of that means anything right now. Derek Gunn even said in that quote that, you know, he doesn't take too much stock into what happens into practice, just kind of gave a quote of what he heard.
I know it's a controlled environment. And like I tell you guys all the time, I don't get too hyped about OTAs, mini camps, and even training camp because it's controlled.
Take it with a grain of salt, but I want to talk about AJ Brown's response because it was amazing. It was glorious. It was very Eagle-like. It was very Philadelphia, and I think we're all happy to see what happened. But before we get into that, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 4K, and we would love for you guys and girls and whatever, you can join that ride. If you got a dog that has a YouTube channel, let them subscribe. We want everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say this first. I love this. I absolutely love this. AJ Brown coming out, talking out, and just kind of being that voice piece for the Eagles. The Eagles have not had this in so long. Obviously, you look at the 2017 year, they kind of kept their head down until the end, right? Jason Kelce gives that amazing speech. Everybody kind of talks about how they felt like they were underdogs. But throughout the year, they weren't saying anything. Prior to that season, they weren't really saying anything, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. I can't realistically think the last time that the Eagles have had a veteran presence that can go out there and talk that talk, and not only talk that talk, but he's going to be the guy that's going to have to go out there and prove it, right? He's going to have to be the guy that goes out there and backs up all that talk. I love what AJ Brown did. I think that this is what the Eagles need. We needed a guy that can kind of be our mouthpiece, right? And kind of say things to the media and fans that some people just don't want to. Some people are more leaders that are just on the field, but especially with our fan base, sometimes you need those players to just be like, listen guys, calm down. It's not what you're thinking. But let's get into what he actually said, right? So AJ Brown started off he only put out 2 from what I saw, but he said the practice stuff about Jalen is fake. Y'all tweet and believe anything. Like, how can he get sacked on 7-on-7 and there aren't any pass rushers? I believe water is above us. Believe that too and make an article about that too. This app is crazy. Now, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Twitter does blow things up. You know, Twitter does blow things up. Again, I've worked with Derek Gunn a couple times, and by no means am I sitting here saying, you know, I know the guy and I know exactly what he intended to mean or whatever. I just don't think there was any malice behind what Derek Gunn was saying. I think that they took it, I don't even want to say out of context, because he said what he said. It is what it is. But they took that one part and kind of ran with it, not really taking the rest of it, where he was saying, like I said, he doesn't take much stock into the practice, and it was just something that he was nervous to hear. So when I reheard it, you know, it just seems like we did hear that he had a couple bad practices. We did hear that AJ Brown and him were working on their, you know, connection. They were working on that chemistry. So I don't think it's anything we didn't necessarily hear. I just think it was, you know, weird timing. We'll see what happens. But AJ Brown coming out and saying that calms fans down a lot, right? And it's funny because I was talking to my girlfriend earlier about, you know, I get nervous to report stuff from media nowadays because I feel like they just are reaching, and I feel like it's because, and you guys tell me why you think this is happening, but I'm personally starting to believe it's because these players aren't giving them what they used to. I feel like back in the day, it was easier to get your point across by talking to the media, talking to this guy, talking to that guy, and getting your point across. Now I feel like a lot of these reporters are going off what the agent says, going off what, you know, people inside of the organization say, which is good, but when it's very poignant, you know, and pointed to a certain player or a certain team or certain players, whatever it may be, or a position or whatever it may be, right? I feel like it's harder to get that hearsay. It's harder to say, well, this person told me that this was happening with that person. That's way too many, connect the dots. Years prior, you used to see a lot of, like I said, players going right to the media and if they had frustrations, they would voice it to the media. Now they have social media. Now they have, so many different outlets. A lot of these guys have their own YouTube channels, their own gaming channel, whatever it may be. They have their own podcast. They have so many outlets of voicing their frustration that I don't think that the connection with reporters and media is what it used to be, right? So that's my tinfoil hat. That's kind of why I'm thinking it, but we've seen it a lot. Javon Kinlaw, I think that I want to say that's his name. Please don't say please tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't want to mess it up, because he looks like he can knock me out. I was watching some of his boxing highlights, but you saw him go after Grant Cohn, right? You're seeing these guys now going after the media and calling them out when they're wrong. AJ Brown also said in a this was probably the best one. In a 10-play series, Jalen threw 3 touchdowns to me. Donovan McNabb and T.O. fought the other 4 plays. Vince Papale came out of retirement and had the other 3 receptions. I love it. I love it. I love the facetiousness. I love just the jestfulness, taking something that obviously got, fans frustrated and kind of laughing at it, because as an Eagles fan, we do get tensed up. This is a time where you're going to hear a lot of different stories. It's hard to really, sort through everything and figure out what's true, what's not. So I love this, man. There's really nothing negative towards this. This is what we needed. The Eagles needed a guy that's going to go out there and be their voice, go out there and be their leader. This is a big step forward for this Eagles offense. This is a big step forward and a big confidence boost for a guy like Jalen Hurts. I think this is when Jalen Hurts says, okay, my boys got me. It's time for me to go out there and do what I got to do. Shout out to Lane Johnson as well, retweeting, basically what AJ Brown was saying and putting those talk to him emojis. That's what I call them. I don't know what they're really supposed to be called, but those are talk to him emojis, because that's what I'd be like, go talk to him. But you guys let me know what you're thinking about AJ Brown. I love this. I really do. I love it. This is what we needed. But like I said, let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Other than that, I guess that's really it for today. Maybe I'll go live later. Maybe I will. Let me know in the comments if I should go live. Y'all let me know. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly, and we are out here. Peace.
Everywhere. This is for you.
Fly was flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here cool on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man Saul Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, really time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.